And yeah, everyone, this is Thermites, and this is the Weekly Updates. As always, very first link down below is Weekly Shonen Jump. Please check it out. This is, oh yeah, I should probably not show you me uploading this video, although, in a sense, I was gonna say, like, oh, perhaps I can blackmail myself into, like, releasing this really quickly, because now everyone knows. But the problem is, of course, you're not gonna see this until I release it. So therefore, it doesn't really make any sense. I think I've trapped myself in a weird logic loop. Ah, but what was I saying? This is a weird start, but I'm not gonna restart it. So, got jump. Really, really good jump this week. I like Red Hood is over now. I feel pretty about that. Like, the thing that still bugs me is just that it did nothing wrong. There are certain parts of it that were, that were a bit mediocre, perhaps. But I think, like, what we got of Red Hood is genuinely better than that same segment of Naruto, or even that same segment of One Piece. Like, a lot of people really love early One Piece, but I've been rereading One Piece in order to, like, get back into my reactions. And, like, I don't like the first segment of One Piece, like, the first 20 chapters that much. Like, it's good stuff, don't get me wrong. There's a lot there to love, but, like, I feel like if you ran something with that level of quality right now in Jump, it would get canceled. And that sucks because, like, that means we can't get more One Pieces or, more series that will escalate to that level of quality. Ah, and I mean, it's really crushing because also I'm pretty sure Neru is ending next week. And that is the, like Red Hood was the big, like, this feels so perfectly crafted to be a long running series. Neru felt like the big, like, this is just effortlessly perfect. It is, it's something we haven't had in Jump for like 30 years, and this person is nailing it perfectly. And for both of those to end is really demotivating. That's a real, like, if these two can't excel in current Jump, what can? I mean, apparently gag series. We've got so many gag series. I've got a segment in this week's Jump where a friend of the channel, Homie, posted a like a update about the 3 mangaka that are getting new series in Jump going forward. And so I went over those very briefly. There's not, it's not super duper interesting, but I did it. And I am very excited to see what's going on. Like, the mangaka of Golem Hearts is the one I'm most excited for, because I really liked Golem Hearts, and it seems like their new art style is really, really good. Like, the Golem Hearts art style was also very good, but this is like, yeah, they really amped it up. Really, really excited for that. There's one gag comedy, and that's a real, like, I feel like Jump's too stuffed with gag comedies. I like gags, like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy comedies. There's a reason why me and Roboco is the thing I end on every single week. But, there's only so much ha 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 you could have. And, like, the problem with a long running gag comedy is also just, like, it's tough. The longer it goes, the tougher it gets. So I feel like that's not a great move for Jump to be going, like, these are the series that are going to, like, continue on and not get canceled, and they'll get, like, they'll go into the hundreds. Like, a gag comedy, it typically dies around chapter 100 in terms of, like, even if it continues to move on, that tends to be when people say there's a drop in quality. And so, like, I wouldn't want to put too many eggs in the gag comedy baskets. That said, though, like, still excited to see what comes next. Uh, I brought up the One Piece thing because, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. When I do my One Piece video, I will mention my theory, I suppose, but, like, this cover immediately feels like a spoiler for something. And that's the real, like, oh yeah, I should probably catch up. Before, I was holding back because my fiance is way, way, way more into One Piece, way better of a One Piece fan. And we were doing reactions together, and you can still find those on his Patreon. But, like, yeah, I didn't want to, like, independently do them, but now it seems like, I talked about it on other things, like, there's border problems, so I'm going to just, like, catch up myself, because it's gonna bother me. And also because, like, I'm not sure if our reactions together were that interesting. I don't know if they were as good as us just doing separate reactions. Before, it was hard because, we lived in the same room, and so it was a real, like, well, I can't do a separate reaction to something that you're enjoying, so we may as well do them together. And, like, when we do move back in together, I feel like we're probably going to, like, go back to that, but in the meantime, I want to do some One Piece. Ah. And don't worry, this does not trample on my previous statement that I'm going to get back into like the next volume of Mars Chronicle. That does come first. That takes priority. I've actually been rereading Mars Chronicle as of late just to like get back into it. I know we've ended off on a really good ending off point, but there's so much. Like if you've read Alita, have you read like Volume 2 of Mars Chronicle recently? Because that is so dense. There's so much going on. I remembered that there was a mystery there, but there's so much packed into there, and then we have not touched on that for so long. And that's not counting like all the stuff from like Last Order that is also hyper dense, that is also super important that I've totally forgotten. So yeah, I want to get at least a bit of a refresher before I go in, so I'm not like looking at stuff we already know and looking at reveals and going like, what is this new mystery? What is happening? Because when I see other reactors do that, it does make me disappointed. Like, if you're watching a reaction video, you're probably going into it, having recently watched that thing, or you have a good memory of that thing. And so, yeah, I personally don't find it super interesting to watch someone stumbling through something they should already know. And so I also don't want to do that. I guess that's about it. I apologize for the extended talk about stuff that, is coming but has not yet come. But it is, in fact, coming. If nothing else, another jump will come. But hopefully this week I'll also do Mars Chronicle. We'll see. We shall see. I'm trying to stay out of making promises I can't keep. At the very least, more jump. And at the very least, I can keep my promise of putting out jump earlier this week. Also, last thing. Not a lot of people could make it to the live stream this week because I didn't warn everyone in advance. And so I do apologize for that. Like, genuinely. That's, it's not that big of a deal, but I just wanted to say that as a clear, I'm not changing to I stream whenever I want with no forewarning schedule. I do want to give everyone warning. I just kind of forgot this time. All right, that's it. Bye for now. Nya nya.